Humanity is a term we use to describe the collective existence of our world. It encompasses all civilizations, each with its own unique identity. Despite any desire to do so, no civilization can eradicate others because justice will always prevail. This concept traces back to the very beginning, to the time of Prophet Adam and his encounter with Satan. When Prophet Adam's legal existence was acknowledged, Satan, a being unlike us, objected. His objection stemmed from a belief that he was superior to Prophet Adam in terms of race and genetics. Thus the debate began. Is mankind an independent species or not? This argument revolves around the value of genetic bonds. The roots of this issue can be traced back to ancient Egypt, where various esoteric organizations were established. These organizations, including the hidden faction within Freemasonry, aim to exert control over the world. Among them, the Pure Wing openly supports this bloodline, while the Illuminated Secret Society wing claims a connection to ancient Egypt and subtly influences symbols. The structure represented by this secret society wing advocates for a secular society where governance is shared among many individuals. Throughout history, similar factions have imposed ideologies such as communism and the French Revolution. On the flip side, there exists a faction that lays claim to a lineage connected by blood, particularly asserting descent from Jesus. They go by the name of the Raven's King's lineage and harbor ambitions of global dominion. They have numerous protocols to substantiate their claims. They aim to establish a world kingdom with Jerusalem as its epicenter, led by the Israelites. The guiding principle will be the noble law, also known as secular governments. Now, shifting gears to a different topic, the bull holds great significance across various cultures. Its symbolism can be found far and wide, permeating different aspects of life. It has become an integral part of numerous pagan religions around the world, constantly evolving and adapting. In this context, there is an attack of sorts, as they attempt to appropriate the Taurus constellation system. Interestingly, this also ties into the concept of Menat, specifically the Minotaur Menat. In the realms of mythology and ancient cultures, the Minotaur and Menat stand as intriguing symbols. The Minotaur, a Greek mythological creature with the head of a bull and the body of a man, is central to the labyrinthine tales of ancient Greece. Imprisoned on Crete, the Minotaur's story explores themes of fate and self-discovery, serving as a metaphor for internal struggles. In contrast, the Menat necklace from ancient Egypt is a sacred adornment associated with the goddess Hathor. Worn in religious ceremonies, the Menat symbolizes a connection with the divine and reflects the intersection of art, religion, and daily life in ancient Egyptian society. Despite their cultural differences, both the Minotaur and Menat offer profound insights into the human condition and the intricate interplay between myth and reality. These mythical marvels continue to resonate, inviting us to unravel their mysteries and glean wisdom from our collective past. In ancient Egypt, there existed these fascinating concepts that held an air of mystery, almost like a religious belief. The pharaohs were well aware of these concepts, as were the esteemed high priests. Initially, these concepts were seen as a form of knowledge, a secret that was carefully guarded. Among this knowledge was the understanding of the lineage of the pharaohs and their ancestral connections. However, over time, these concepts transformed into a religion, a system that made governing easier for the pharaoh society. As it evolved into a religion, these concepts took on a divine nature. They were revered and worshipped as gods. Their reflections were believed to have a profound impact on humanity and even the Israelites. But let us not forget the origins of this intriguing journey. It all began with a king, a ruler who had a brother named Set. Now, let me introduce to you the most remarkable aspect of this ongoing battle between the mighty child and the small child, the fundamental element that shapes it all. I refer to it as the law of succession, a force that has guided the entire global system for countless millennia. I want to shed some light on this phenomenon. Here's the intriguing part. The powerful child, who was expected to ascend the throne, faced a greater likelihood of being overthrown by the smaller child. The little child, known as Osiris, and the big child named Set were the designations bestowed upon them by the ancient Egyptians. When you observe Set, you can sense his realization that his grip on power is slipping away. In a desperate move, he strikes a devastating blow and seizes his brother's throne. He proceeds to tear Osiris apart, scattering his remains throughout the Nile. This is a captivating tale that has been passed down through generations. Now, in addition to all of that, the fragmented Osiris's wife is concealed somewhere. As per the Egyptian tale, she hides within a cave, nestled by the river's edge. It is there that she diligently gathers her husband's scattered pieces. She painstakingly collects and temporarily restores him. This is the tale that is shared, and she brings forth a child from him whose name is Horus. This child truly becomes fatherless upon birth. At this very moment, he is a child born after his father's resurrection, and we must take note of this. Now with this child, in the year 14800 BC, a staggering 14450 years ago, 800 mysterious objects were securely locked away. And now finally they have been discovered, revealing the secrets of their origin. It turns out that the Queen's Room leads directly to the magnificent Sirius star, while the King's Room is locked in the celestial embrace with the star Orion perched majestically atop the star's hand. Interestingly, one of the individuals who departed from the northern region is now journeying towards the Draco star. Moreover, the Swan Team star, located within the Queen's Room, is intricately connected to the Pole star, which currently serves as our guiding star, alongside the Ursa Minor and Bursa Minor stars. However, an intriguing predicament arises here. The Pole star was previously known as Dennet, a name that dates back a staggering 11,400 years before the birth of Christ. Nevertheless, this discrepancy does not pose a significant obstacle in our quest for knowledge. Furthermore, the individual who departed from the Queen's Room finds a connection with the Draco star from within the King's Room. This fascinating tale intertwines with the story of Isis, which delves into the enigmatic secrets concealed within the pyramids. It is worth noting that these celestial bodies also bear animal representations, such as the mighty Orion hunter, the graceful swan of the Pole star, and the elusive snake representing another star. Through the lens of animals, a captivating tale unfolds. It all began with the birth of a civilization, but when the Swan Team emerged, a second civilization took shape. However, when the Snake Team entered the scene, they clashed with the Swan Team, leading to the discovery of a new territory known as Orion. Conflict ensued, causing chaos and upheaval. Yet, amidst the turmoil, the fleeing civilization found solace in this new land and developed a fresh perspective. Eventually, they regained control and resumed their dominance. This intriguing narrative holds a deeper meaning. It reveals the origins of the pharaoh's lineage. Whether it is fact or fiction, there is a story being conveyed here. Throughout this intricate tale, the connections between all these events are intertwined like branches on a family tree. When the Israelites arrived in Egypt during the time of Jacob and Joseph, they realized the importance of tracing their own lineage, regardless of the type of government or actions taken. They swiftly adopted a flawed system known as the Little Brother version, which can be observed in the Quran's account of the struggle between Abraham's sons Ishmael and Isaac. Following that, as stated in the Torah, when his other siblings pleaded with him, he couldn't bear it any longer and decided to release Benjamin. However, according to the Quran, he chose not to set him free because he believed it was necessary to keep him by his side. This decision was based on their laws, as it was crucial to convince Jacob, who strongly believed in the law of gravity and the continuity of the system. In simpler terms, if this law was disregarded, Joseph, who was only able to survive due to it, would have already departed, leaving only Benjamin behind. Jacob's hope would have been shattered as well. Ultimately, this is how it unfolded according to the Quran. We witness a more advanced version of this in the Torah, where Jacob blesses even Joseph's children by placing his hand on the head of the younger child. Mimicking the act, Joseph intervenes and says, "Father, it's not the older one, it's the younger one." Jacob responds, "Yes, I am aware of what I'm doing." Now there are more sophisticated variations of all these events. The issue here is that after Joseph vanished, Benjamin remained as the only surviving brother. We observe that the first rebellion of the Israelites during their time in Egypt, led by Moses, was sparked by the sons of Benjamin. It began with the creation of a bull statue by Samiri while defending God's law. The entire system was abolished and Moses stepped in to intervene. The sons of Benjamin supported occult practice, leading to a civil war. According to the Torah, it is said that 100,000 people lost their lives here, with 30,000 being Israelites and 70,000 being Benjaminites. These Benjaminites were completely excluded and oppressed. Today, Israel has evolved into what it is, and these are the Israelites who have a direct lineage connection. Their pursuit is deeply rooted in the Isis-Horus culture I mentioned earlier, and it is intricately tied to the religious aspect. There are several intriguing elements intertwined in this narrative. Blood has been shed, and Magdala holds significance in this tale. Magdala was an ancient city on the western shore of the Sea of Galilee in Israel. The concept of Maria, which reflects today, is mentioned, along with the works of Dan Brown and the Da Vinci Code. This theory traces back to the 80s and is linked to figures like Henry Lincoln, Richard Lay, and Michael Bagent. It is built upon the research of Christian historians, and has inspired books, movies, and even controversy within the Vatican. This structure leads to an important place, suggesting that the lineage of Jesus continued, giving rise to kings in Europe. The Windsor dynasty in England and the Habsburgs in Old Germany are examples of these powerful bloodlines. It is fascinating to consider whether there is a direct blood connection between these European dynasties and Jesus himself. This is a completely different issue that we're not discussing at the moment. However, there is a common origin that connects everything. Let's dive into it. After the 3 wars, 400 girls were married off, and a generation of Benjaminites were born. This elite group is an integral part of the story and is seen as a capital tridium. If we delve deeper, we'll find that even his brother Osiris fought alongside them. It's like they all have a connection that brings them together. Let me explain further. We'll start with Egypt and the struggle of Moses, which eventually led to the first outbreak. During this time, an event occurred between Moses and Aaron where Samira was present with the Benjaminites and Aaron himself. Now let's fast forward to the period of Jesus. His lineage can be traced directly from his mother Mary to David and Aaron. In the Quran, there is a verse that refers to Mary as the sister of Aaron, implying a connection to her relatives during pregnancy. This indicates that Jesus' lineage is from his mother, but his father's contribution came through the breath of the angel Gabriel. Now the 1952 Council of Emperors. This council, consisting of 10 or 12 families, was held in a castle in France. It was a significant event where the future of the world was discussed, and decisions were made by 13 individuals. Interestingly, this castle was also the site where the last leader of the temple was accused and burned to death. The Council of Emperors convenes every few decades, such as every 20, 30, or 40 years, similar to the Knights Templar who were burned on Friday the 13th. There is a connection to a church in France that burned in 137, although I can't recall its name right now. Recently, there was a fire at that church. And it's intriguing how it relates to the murder and burning of Jacques. Some speculate it could be a form of retaliation. Before the fire, valuable statues and artifacts were moved from the church about 2 weeks earlier. Before we delve further, let's explore the concept of Christianity. Regardless of our backgrounds, the Quran emphasizes that any conflicts based on lineage or kinship have been completely abolished. This cancellation of kinship is evident from the verses addressing the struggle between Adam and Satan, as well as those directed towards the Israelites. According to the Quran, there is no concept of kinship after Noah. In the future, humanity will govern this administration based on our shared genetic pool, leading to the advancement of our civilization. This concept is not only evident in the Quran, but also in Christianity. When considering the teachings of John the Baptist among the Israelites, the question arises, should these teachings be limited to the Israelites, or should they be spread to all people? It becomes clear that Jesus' mission was to spread these teachings to all individuals. By examining the Bible, we can see the connection between the Last Supper story and the theory we previously mentioned, as depicted in Da Vinci's Last Supper painting. The scene of the meal holds significance, as it aligns with the concept of something being sent down from heaven, as mentioned in the Quran. Following the Communist Revolution, a new system emerged that marked the end of the Ottoman Empire. The question arises, will everything be burned down now? While there may be changes and transformations, they will not be haphazard or arbitrary. Instead, a deliberate course of action was taken to steer France in a specific direction and initiate a global movement. As France starts to pose an obstacle, the first event will be set in motion within its borders, with Catholicism at the heart of the matter. Catholicism within Christianity stands in opposition to their ideals. This opposition stems from the belief that all individuals are equal, without any special lineage. Leaders or defenders of such lineage are seen as adversaries. Islam is also included in this opposition, as it too lacks the concept of special lineage. In Christianity, only the papacy remains as an institution, and even that is being targeted for destruction. Their latest endeavor involves pantheism, a belief system that combines elements of Christianity, Judaism, and pagan traditions. This syncretic approach has been successfully implemented within Christianity, and now they seek to incorporate Islam into this framework. However, there is a fundamental conflict here. How can we reconcile two opposing forces? They are constructing the foundation of this belief system by promoting the idea of reincarnation. Underneath reincarnation lies the notion that the universe itself is the creator and humans are an integral part of the universe and God. They claim that all these elements are equal. This concept is not only present in pagan beliefs but also in Eastern religions. Reincarnation serves as a framework that supports this idea. Whether the universe itself is considered God, or if it is a creation of a divine power. This is where the paths diverge, but there is no conflict at the lower level. The conflict arises at the higher level, where reincarnation exists. It is an endless cycle, and we can explore whether reincarnation is possible or not. This is the essence of pantheism. Thank you for watching.